Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reid. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reid.
Cool. I like that you admire my work, I guess, I suppose.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reid. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
That might be bad.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
Okay. Ooh, this is like a vampire thing. What? I don't understand what the difference is here. Maybe it's that I only get one of these options. I think that's what it means. I only get one of these options. Glad to help you. Research is exhausting. Flattery is useless. I'm glad to help.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Okay.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Okay. What about the hospital?
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
He is really excited about blood. A lot of these people are really excited about blood.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reid. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
I see. That's a good way to do a fetch quest. We're all
Goodbye,
done here.
Dr. Strickland.
Please don't have me stuck. Yay, me. I got free by talking to him. Have I talked to her? Oh my gosh, there's so many people to talk to. Let's kind of take a look at what we've got so far. Where are they? This one? This one, okay. So, I don't understand why she's here and what this unknown district is. But, okay, so we have this district. We've got a lot of people found already. What were his things? Because we got a clue from him. Experiments in blood transfusion have not been successful yet. It's probably not a good idea. Let's talk to this nurse.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Have I already talked to her? Dorothy Crane. No, I did not. Did I? I feel like I have. How's Mr. Hampton? No, I have.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
I'm gonna slowly get used to all their faces. There was a dude over here. I have now lost him. Is it this guy? That's the guy we just talked to.
But we have some of the most brilliant minds in London.
This is cool. Like I said, I like this system with
Good
citizens.
evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reid, yes,
What am I
I've been
standing
informed
on?
about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
That's rude. Maybe. Ooh, why is that unlocked? Oh, because it's Strickland's research. Ooh, that's curious. I'll talk to you that in a second.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reid. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
I see, okay. I have one option here. No need for such animosity. Jealousy will not do you any good. You better change your tone with me. Ooh, could threaten him. I'm gonna call him out.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy? It really won't do you any good, you know.
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reid. A simple glance is enough for me to know you have nothing for me to envy.
I see, okay.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
I see. I'm gonna read this real quick. Disapproves of modern medicine methods. This guy, I don't like this guy. I might
Tell
feed
me,
on him.
Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Okay.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
So, okay, I kind of feel like I'm getting the lay of the land here at the hospital.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
That makes sense. You will assume the consequences. I trust your judgment. It's a conservative point of view. I think
Other
that's it.
people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
Whatever. I wonder
Thank
if I
you
can
for your
now
time. We'll talk later.
talk to the other doctor and be like, about this procedure. Is this now a thing that I can bring up?
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reid. Can I be of any help?
Is he a vampire? Did I just see his teeth? Curious. Personal questions.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering
he is.
from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reid. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Okay.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father. ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Curious. So Harvey is blaming himself for his injury. Okay, this is cool. Like I said, I like how
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I like how there is a level of investigation in this game. You may be a medical doctor, but you appear to take on the role of an investigator. I like that a lot.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
I see. What can I learn from him?
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
Interesting.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
And what about Tom?
Do you know Tom Watts? The bartender from the Turtle. I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Okay.
What is
Final
the
question.
general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
I guess so. Okay. I didn't learn anything from that, but I might learn stuff from
What
this.
do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Curious. Why is it that the other guys worked on me?
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Okay.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Cool. So I'm kind of feeling like I've done a whole lot of talking here, and I kind of want to move on. So I kind of want to go check. Okay, so like I've got plenty of things here. So apparently I need to go talk to somebody out there. But I want to go and push the main plot forward, which is not that way. I'm just gonna follow the Y. Ooh, I saw that. I saw the flash. Yeah, give me your loot. I want all the loot. Ooh, I used hacksaw. That sounds brutal. T. Elwood's medical file. Patient Thomas Elwood, male, age 28. Followed by Dr. Tippett's. Status, convalescence. Date of admission, September 16th. Date of release to be determined. Notes, the patient's face has been heavily burnt and disfigured by a bomb during the war. Even with the use of the strongest sedatives, he affirms to regularly endure severe pain from his wounds, as if the flames are still burning under his skin. He says examinations of the citricide tissues, show us no trace of inflammation, infection, or swelling. Scars are clean. Could it be a case of persisting nerve damage? The patient never ceases to blame himself for his disfiguration. Could it be the case of guilt of the survivor? Phantom pain manifesting as a punishment for not dying with his comrades. Could be. Curious. I could not go in there, but I can go in here.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes.
Hideout unlocked.
Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Yet. This is cool. Dr. Jonathan, I asked Nurse Crane to secure an office for you on the second floor. Please forgive the austere decoration, but Pembroke Hospital is not exactly the Ritz. Sorry to let you discover your office alone, but I need to sleep a little before going back to work. I'm just a mere mortal, after all. I also gave orders to let you rest, and for the staff to never enter your room. You'll be able to sleep all day without being disturbed, and work at night without raising any suspicion. I'm afraid the place is quite messy, but you'll be able to conduct your experiments here at your own pace. You'll also notice there is an open window with a scaffolding that will allow you to enter or exit the hospital without being noticed. I imagine how awfully new and disturbing this all must be for you. Believe me, I have studied enough of your species to understand that you must now be facing and feeling. What you must now be facing and feeling. Be assured, I'll do whatever I can to help you in this ordeal. I know that you're not completely alone facing it. I'm glad I met you. These dark times we are all presently facing. I hope our future collaboration will yield great results. Welcome to Pembroke, my esteemed colleague. We shall talk soon. Yours sincerely, Edward. P.S. I left a copy of some of my notes concerning what I've discovered about Ekin in the last few years. Feel free to read about it if you need some guidance, as long as you don't use this knowledge to take advantage of me. Or I could use it to take advantage of him. Eat him. Or drain him. Or whatever it is that vampires do. Refill. I don't actually know what that button does. But I want to level up. So let's do that first. So I have 1200 XP. I could go and buff myself some more, or I could pick up a useful ability. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like this is nice to be able to heal. And in fact, I probably do want to bump it up. The fact of the matter is, actually, you know what? Here's the thing. Like, I'm using Blood Spear, and it's a great ability. But am I better to have some kind of, like, you know, other ability to use? Like Spring? Like, this stuff sounds cool. Should I just wait for that? I'm level 4 already. Do I just hold on to my blood and upgrade these? Or do I get Shadow Mist, which is going to be an expensive thing to get? What if I upgrade this? What does it do? It, you can pass through enemies in front of you. You throw a spear made of blood, which can pass through enemies made in front of you. Okay, so this just reduces the cost. Cost by 5 on that. Which is curious. but I need level 8 to get that anyways. You know what? Let's get Shadow Mist because it sounds cool. And I've got enough XP for it. I don't think I have enough XP for anything else because that's all 300, so we'll just hit to confirm. And we will level up and move on with our lives. The following night. Okay, yeah, he super died. Okay, I see how this works. So, the health status of the district. He is dead. Suddenly. How did he die? I got 500 XP from him. I feel like I could have gotten more XP. But, you gotta imagine that Dr. Reid would figure that out. Be like, I'm not doing this right. I shouldn't kill people like this if I can resist it. I think that'll be the best way to go about it. Oh, there's so much stuff to do here.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Or blood. There's a lot of stuff. I'm really, really enjoying this game. It is quite fun. And there's another article. I will read that in a second. It's quite fun, and there's a lot of stuff to do. And the RPG stuff is cool because it like all ties into this crazy like citizen thing, and there's all these people to talk to, and they all tie together, and they're all part of the game, and if you kill one, it affects the game. It's so freaking cool. I never actually knew that I wanted a vampire game as much as I do. Let's see if I can craft anything.